Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to design a travel landing page. As you can see right here on my screen, I'm on Figma and this is the landing page we are going to be designing using Figma. So if you're actually new to the YouTube channel guys, consider hitting the subscribe button and also don't forget to turn on post notification so you get notified whenever we upload a new video just like this. Okay, make sure you subscribe because you don't want to miss any single video. Okay, so as you can see right here, this is what we are going to be designing today. So watch this video to the end so you don't miss any parts when you are designing something like this. Okay, or you wish to design a simple landing page, maybe you are trying to learn how to use Figma, or you're trying to learn how to design a website or certain things. Okay, so I'm going to explain every single thing how I did this design from scratch. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is to make sure you have Figma installed. Make sure you have Figma installed or the Figma browser opened on your the Figma link opened on your Chrome browser, or depending on the browser, the browsing app you're using actually. Okay, so what I'm going to do guys is to open a new file, a design file. So I'm going to click here, click this plus icon and click on design file. Okay, I'm using the Figma desktop app. Okay, so you don't get confused when you see what I'm actually doing. So in case you are trying to design or create a new file, you have to make sure you are on the on page section like this. Okay, so as you can see, this is a new design file. The first thing I want to do is to name or give this file a name. So I'm going to do that by saying travel landing page. Okay, then I'm going to copy this image and paste it here because we are going to be redesigning this again. So I'll just have this image here. Okay, so I'm going to leave this image here. So yeah, remember we want to design this. So I brought out some of the graphics which I used in this design, so they're actually here. So I'm just going to copy all these graphics and come back here so I can paste all these elements which I use in designing this or achieving this, so I can speed up the design and show you how it works, how I was able to do this. Okay, so yeah, the first thing you want to do is to create an artboard or a frame. Okay, you are actually using Adobe XD, it's going to be an artboard. If you're using Figma, it's frame. Okay, then the frame I actually made use of was the desktop version. So I click on the desktop frame, sorry. Then I'm going to drag this close to this because I want to see what I'm actually doing. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is to rename this to a travel landing page. So I'm actually renaming the name of this frame. So the next thing I want to do is to set my grid. I want to set a grid system. So I'm going to add basically I want to add a colon. Since this is a website, I want to add a colon. So I'm going to click on this layout grid and click on this section right here, then change it to columns, then change this column to 12. Then make sure your gutter is set to 20% or 20, and your margin is set to 100. Then boom, we've gotten the system for this. And the next thing you want to do is to make sure your background is white. And the next thing you want to do is to also remember, if I zoom in, you notice that there is this background a pattern. So this image is a travel pattern. So I'm going to copy this and come to my landing page, my travel landing page, paste it in. As you can see, I've pasted it in. So you can move it in. So I'm just going to leave this like this. This is where I want it to be. Just going to do this. Okay, I'm going to do this. Then I'm going to set an opacity to 20%. Getting 20% is much. I'm going to give it 10%. Then yeah, 10%. Then okay, I think 10% much. Okay, so I think 10% is okay. Then I can go ahead and lock this. I'm going to lock this because I don't want it to I don't want to move around it, so I'm going to do that. Then the next thing you want to do is to so as you can see, there is this logo right here. I designed this logo using the same using the fonts and a few things. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is to write all these text that are here. So I'm going to click on the T, which is I'm using the shortcut key. So I'm going to set my fonts. I'm actually using Poppins, so I'm going to set it to Poppins. I love Poppins. I'm going to set my default. My normal size is 16 for that is standard font, the standard font size for web. So I'm going to do this beautiful places. So what I'm going to do is to type out all this. I'm going to type out all these texts right here. Travel and live your dream now. Okay, so I want to do that of the menu. So I'm going to type that destination, hotels, flights, bookings, login. Then I'm going to do this also for sign up. Okay, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to select this, all these buttons, all these menu buttons, and I'm going to click tidy up the space because I want to tidy up the space so I can set my default size for between these elements. Then I'm going to make sure they are in the same line, Then the next thing I want to do is to set this spacing to 40 because the default space I used for that was 40. Then I'm also going to add an auto layout to this because I don't want, so whenever I'm adding a new menu to this, it's going to be default, the spacing will be default. So for example, if I copy this login, or let me say for example I copy this destination and paste for another one, let me say I want to call this about us, it's going to be the same spacing. Okay, so you get why I'm actually using the auto layout. So I'm going to do that back, and this is our menu, so I'm going to put it here. Then okay, so the next thing I want to do is to design the button. As you can see, the button, so the button okay, so I'm going to do that right now by doing this. Then I'm going to take it under and put this in the middle and give it a border radius of 10%, and I don't need the fill, so I'm going to take the fill and put in the stroke because I'm actually making use of a stroke. Then I think I can group this. So if you want to group this, I'm actually using a shortcut, but to group it, make sure you highlight these two elements, then right click and go to group selection. Then it's going to group that selection. Okay, so I'm going to take this to the top and align, make sure it's aligned to my grid. So align it to my grid, then take this and also give some spacing. So as you can see, there's a spacing between this, and I want to make sure it's aligned with this text inside the button. Okay, so I'm going to leave that, then set. Then I'm going to zoom out, so as you can see, it's looking nice. So I don't want to go ahead and start designing this logo, so I'm just going to do that. Let's just assume we have a logo. So I'm going to do this. I'm coming. So I have this, I'm going to copy this and just come to the design and paste the logo right there. So I'll just set this. I'm just going to set the logo. Okay, so the logo is set now, it's in the middle. And now the next thing I want to do is to also type I don't want to go ahead and start typing all this text, so I'll just copy this and show you what I actually did. So I'm going to group this, and I'm going to paste the text here. So I'm going to change this color to black. Okay, so yeah, so this is what we're going to work with. So this is what we're going to be working with now. So I'm going to make this, I'm going to leave this as 16 and change this font. This want to make it to look like this. So we have to make this let me say like an header one or a title. So I'm going to change this to, I think I made use of 48. Then also change this from regular fonts to semi-bold. This is because we want it to look like this, and I can go ahead and stick this away. Then I think this is it. Okay, yeah, this is it. So I'm going to do like this, then take it up a little bit. Then the next thing I want to do is to do this and to make sure this is aligned, and take this out. Okay, so this is it. So yeah, so what I did here was to select all this. I selected all the elements here, and I did the same thing: horizontal distribute, vertical spacing, and it was equal. Okay, so now I can change the spacing if I want to 10%. Spacing between this top here spacing is 10%, bottom here too is 10%. Then I can drag this up. Okay, remember we haven't started coloring this whole system, so we're going to I'm going to zoom out. Then I want to also create this popular, this and this link. They are all linked, so I'm going to come back here. I can copy this and paste this again. Since I want to make use of same thing, then I'll just use popular Lagos, Ottawa, then Paris. Okay, so I'll just make this bold. Okay, so I'll make this, I'll make make use of the medium size. Then I'm coming for the coloring. I'm going to do all this coloring later, so let me just get this, out of the way. Okay, so I think now the next thing I want to create is to create this search box where they can go ahead and book. Okay, so I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to do that right now. Okay, so we have it set. So what I did was to make sure it's equal with this text. So I'm just going to do this like this, and I give it a space, a radius of 10. Then I also duplicated this, and I turned this into a button. Okay, I turned this into a button, so I'm going to give it this color. I'm going to give it a color code. Okay, I think I'll just change this to 20. Okay, I think I'll leave it as 10. So I'll just take this node out. I want this to be equal with this, so I'm just going to do this. So I'm actually holding Shift Alt. Since I'm using the window, I'm actually using holding Shift and Alt, so I can be able to drag this. If you're actually trying to drag this, you won't be able to do it. If you're dragging this, these other ones are going to move. So you have to try as much as possible to drag one out first before you do the other one. Then next thing I want to do is to change this to white, because this is white. Change this to white. Add an effect, that's the shadow. That's the shadow right here. So add shadow. I'll change this to 10. Change this to 7%, and change this to change this to 10, and change this to 40. Okay, so I think this is cool. We can still go ahead and adjust all this. So I'm going to take this down. Then I think I'm going to copy this so I can make use of the same text, and I'm just going to say type. Okay, and I think okay, I'm coming. I'm trying to search for a city you wish to visit. Okay, so search for a city you wish to visit. Okay, search for a city you wish to visit. Okay, so remember we have two text there. We also have a book now text. This is the button. Okay, so I'm gonna put it in the middle and change the color to white. And also change this to a more like a faded color, so people can know that yes, this is an input. And okay, change this to this. I'll make this regular, and I think this is set now. So I think this is now well aligned, so I'm going to give it by 1. Okay, it's aligned. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is to create this blob. So what I use, guys, I made use of a plugin called Blob. So if I right click and go to the plugin section, you can actually see it right here, Blob. So once I open Blob, it's going to give me going to open this blob, so I can go ahead and select. It's going to give me a random blob, so I can select a random blob, but I don't want to go to the stress of having to look for this blob. So I'm going to close this and come back here and select this blob. Okay, I'm going to show you what I actually did, guys, how I got this. So I'm going to select this. Okay, so let's say this blob is this is the blob. Whenever you import the blob, this is what the blob is going to look like. So what you're going to do is to drag it into your file and set it the way you want it to be, then drag it down to the bottom of the file. Okay, remember, it should be above your background. This is my background, so it's going to be above my background. Then I can set the color, set the fill color if you want. Then also don't forget to also set the layer. Set the layer, that's the opacity. I'm going to put this to 10% or 20%. I think I'm making use of 20% there, so 20%. So as you can see right here, the design is looking cool and amazing now. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is to make sure you have your image. So this is my image here. I'm just going to drag it into my file, put this here and go. This is the plane, because I want to make use of this again. So once you have your files, all these images, you can make use of them. So I'm just going to soon take this in and place it right here, and take this close to this. Okay, so now I have this. Okay, I think that's cool, right? B. So I can just take this, okay, like this. This is okay. Okay, so remember, we haven't given this a color. So we want to do that right now. I'm going to select this, give it this color. So I'm going to make use of this black color. I think I'm making use of 31. Okay, so I got it 31. Then I'm going to change this to the color. Okay, so now the next thing I want to do is to give this link a color. Okay, so I'm going to do that right now. Okay, I'm going to do that right now. Guys, if you're actually enjoying the video, kindly subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any video we upload right here on this channel. Okay, so this is it, and the next thing you want to do is to type these favorite places and top requests. So I'm going to do that by clicking on the text icon, then typing favorite place. And this is, remember, we're making use of default font. So I'm going to take this up and duplicate it and type top destination. And also, guys, if you notice, we have a background, we have faded text on the background. We have faded text, so I think I'm making use of this. Okay, so we have a faded text that says top destination, so I'm going to do that again. Okay, so I'm going to do that again. Okay, so I'm actually trying to give the spacing between the favorite place and the top destination, so you don't get confused when you're actually saying this. So yeah, the next thing I want to do is to duplicate this top destination, so we can have two top destination. And remember, right here on the left hand side, you're going to see two top destination. Then I'm going to click on this one under the top destination. Then I'm going to change the color to this, change the color to something lighter. Let me say something like that. Then I'm going to increase the font size to something bigger. Then I can take this to something like this. And the next thing I want to do is to go ahead and add a rectangle. I'm going to add a rectangle. I'm going to make sure this rectangle is by I think by 4. Okay, yeah, 4. Okay, so it's going to be like this, 4 by 4. So I'm going to make sure the radius is set to 20. Then the next thing I want to do is to copy this and duplicate it, so we can have 3 boxes. Okay, 3 boxes. Okay, 3 destinations. Got this destination, so I'm going to take this down. I'm going to take this down a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to take this down a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to copy this and take this up because I want this element to have a breathing space. So yes, this is what we actually want to design. So I'm going to copy this and bring this box out because I'm going to make use of this as the shadow. So I'm going to make use of a plugin called Unsplash. This is where I'm going to be able to import the background images. So I'm going to search for Paris. I'm actually searching for various destination. So I'm just going to do this. Then it's going to import. I'm going to select the next one and search for city or searching for any random places. Then I'm going to do that again. Okay. Then lastly, I'm going to search for another place. I think Canada. Okay. So I'm going to do this again, and boom, we're done. So yeah, I can go ahead and import this back again into the file and make sure it's set to the middle. Okay, so I'm gonna make sure this basically what we're going to do right now is to make use of a liner color. Then make sure the top is the top. I think this is okay. This is the top. Make sure the top is, we're actually going to be making sure the default code for both. Then we set the code, we set the opacity here. I'm going to make this light and come to the dark section, make this 75%, come back here, make this 50%. Okay, I think 50%, then boom, we are done. I'm going to copy this and add it to these other destinations. Then boom, we are done with the design. Okay, so I can go ahead and remove this grid by, you can either select the file and come to this eye and off it. You can turn it off, you can turn it on. So I'm actually making use of the shortcut key to turn that off. Okay, so as you can see right here, this is what the design actually looks like. Here on this design is the background is light, so I'm going to do that by selecting the background and reduce it to, okay, so I think the background is 10%. And I think that's okay. So as you can see, this is it guys. We've been able to design. Okay, yes guys, I forgot to change this color, the color code for this. So I'm going to make sure selection color and change it to the normal color we're actually using right here, so it rhymes with it or it corresponds with the design. So yeah, this is it guys, and I can change this also if I want. I can change this correspond with the design too, and boom, this is cool. I can also change this popular to respond with the design. Okay, so boom, done. And I think that's all. So I'm going to select this background. Maybe if I want to reduce it again, I can set it to 7%. Okay, so this is what the design actually looks like. As you can see, we've been able to design a travel page, a travel landing page. If you actually enjoyed the video guys, consider subscribing to the channel. Make sure you turn on post notifications so you don't miss any video like this. Thanks for watching, and see you guys in another video.